Hi, it's Diana. I wanted to get a little personal in here, which is why I'm in my bedroom shooting this today. And I wanted to just share a couple of things that I feel like I've learned as life lessons that I will keep with me forever. And I feel like it took a lot of experience and trial and error to get to. And it's something that I would want to share with my own son, who, by the way, is turning 5 this weekend. I'm so proud of him and so excited. I want to also share these with him one day, as these are life lessons that I feel are just things that, you know, it's good to keep in mind. Not to necessarily live by. Everybody should choose their own path of what they believe to be true. But this is what I found to be true so far in my 37 years of being here on this planet. So the first thing is really just gratitude. Gratitude in everything that you have. Every single day as we wake up, there is so much to be grateful for. You know, it's not just like the things that we have. It's not just like who we have around us, which is very important because people, you know, come and go, and there's always going to be changes with that because each of us are on our own journeys and our own life lessons. And so when we have them in our lives, it's so great to just be so grateful for that, because we don't know how things change and how someone else may change, which we have no control over. So gratitude, and just the sake of having and being healthy, I think, is a #1 thing for me. Not just for myself, but, you know, for my family, my son. Yeah, just even like when kids get sick over the years, like you're just like, oh, like they have a cold and you feel so bad for them. I can't even imagine if that was something that was chronic or something that, you know, came up. So I'm just so appreciative for just my son, my family, and my friends. I'm so grateful that everyone is healthy. So that's a huge piece too. But just having gratitude in the things, like, you know, in all aspects, and not to be so like foo-foo, like, oh my God, everything is like rainbows and roses, right? But there is so much to be grateful for. And I think when we can see that, there's a lot more that we can actually appreciate in life and be happy for. That's part of what makes your happiness. Number 2, a huge lesson in life, I think, is just learning about money. Like, you know, what money is and what it does and how it operates. Doesn't matter which spectrum you're on, but you need to learn how to manage your money. And I think that's something I've learned really greatly over the years, not because money is like the driving force of life, but it is a piece where we have to survive, right? Like you need food, you need shelter, you need clothing. So these are like the basics, and you need some level of money to be able to get that. Learning how to manage it and deal with it and plan and prepare for things is really important because, you know, like I always try to explain, is that 1 + 1 is 2. There's nothing that'll change it. So whatever your financial status is, there's nothing that's going to change it in that moment. Of course, you could get more money coming in or more money going out, but at the end of the day, you can plan for it because you know exactly how much you have, what you spend, what you need, and then once you can figure that out, anything that comes your way, you're able to figure it out easily versus scrambling and being like, where am I financially, and causing that unnecessary stress on top of the stress that you already have. And I think the third thing that I found is just finding out what your values are, what's important to you, and just stick to that. Like listen to that gut, you know, listen to what that inner voice is saying, listen to how you feel about something. If something feels good and truly feels good to the depth of your soul, like listen to that. If something doesn't feel right, listen to it, assess it, sit with it, because you have to trust yourself to be knowing of what is right for you, which is different for every single person because not everyone has the same views and values on things, right? And so always sit with yourself, and the sooner you learn that, the sooner you'll actually be happy what that means to you, because you're truly going to be yourself. And I learned this, I feel like, still in trial and error, and I still work at it because, you know, it's a process. It takes a lot, and we've all experienced a lot of things along our life journey. But I think that that's something that is huge in trying to figure out what it is that will make you happy and what is important, right? Is it actually money, or is it actually just what it can provide so you can have family time because you have money? So they're two very different things, but you can get them often confused. So I think that is a huge thing, and it takes a lot of work to kind of try to figure that out, because, you know, we don't like to listen to ourselves or sit with ourselves very often. But when we do, and we make friends with ourselves, like truly make friends with yourself, like you would with like your significant other or a bestie of yours, like that is where we can actually gain the most, because we are more aware of what we need and what we want. And that essentially is part of life. Like your life here is not for you to just do what others want, but it's for what you want. And then once you get what you want, you're able to better help serve others. So that's my number 3. And I think my number 4 is actually probably should have been my number 1, but I think that the number 1 thing is love. I think that love is in so many forms, in so many ways. And I know this may sound to some people very like rainbows and roses again, but I really do believe that love is the essence of what makes life go round, right? Love is actually what creates life. And I think that this all ties into kind of our own purpose on this world. If we had more of it, more love, more kindness, more empathy, I think the world would be a better place. And I think where we are in this world right now, the way it is, I think we can all use more of it. I don't think it'll ever do any harm to have too much. I think if you think about your own life, you know, have you ever had that stranger just give you that smile? Or that stranger just do something so kind for you? Or the person that was in front of you in line but saw that you were in such a rush and let you go first? Or someone who just got you a coffee just because, like they were in line ahead of you and said, hey, here you go. Those things are the things where I'm just always so amazed by the wonderful people who are out there in the world, and that who can do such things, these small, tiny little things that just make my day, because clearly here I am and I can still remember those moments. So I think that love, connection is all part of why we're all here, you know? We're not here to drive ourselves mad, like working all day and just staring at a computer, you know? We're here to also have that connection, that love, and reciprocating that. And it doesn't have to be in a romantic way, you know? Or in a friendly way. It could just be to share good vibes, good things to people. And I truly just believe that you don't have to cross your own boundaries of what feels comfortable to you or what you are able to give out. But I think that when you do things in a kind way, I think that it just has some level of energetic domino effect of energy. And I see that because I feel like, you know, when I've done something nice to someone, I feel like I can sense that they also receive from that, and then they feel better, and then I feel like they probably treat whoever comes their way in that like 15 minutes or hour or the day better. And I think that just is so great, because that's kind of how the effect goes. See where our energy is going, and if it's not going where we want it to go, you can reset at any time. There's no one that says you have to make changes on New Year's, you know? New Year's is just a day like any other day, and I'm glad that it helps a lot of people use it as a trigger date to start what they want to do. But really, any day at any moment, multiple times a day, you can actually restart your day and just do what it is that you want to do. I think my number 5 really is just that to follow your heart. This kind of goes in line with everything I've said, but it's to have the gratitude, have the love, have the empathy and kindness, and to just share that with the people who are important to you. Once you figure out what your values are, is to put that out there and make that happen. And yes, things don't happen overnight. I understand that we've created where we are at today based off of all the decisions and things that we've decided to do and make up. And that's where we are today right now. But that doesn't mean that, you know, tomorrow or a year from now, that you can't get one step closer to where it is that you want to be. If you think back to how you were maybe a month ago, maybe a year ago, or 5 years ago, I'm sure it's different from where you are now. And how you are is different from how you are now. So just trust that you can make the changes. It may not always feel good, it may not always be the easiest, but if you really want your life to be in that direction, just know that you can. And it's your choice to see if you want to do it or not. And for myself, out of my own experience, I will say that 1 year ago today, my life was very, very different. In actuality, in 2019, every aspect of my life had basically changed in all aspects, and it was in a better way, but I chose for it to change. Actually, prior to that, I was unsure, and once I committed to what it is that I inherently wanted deep in my soul, I honestly feel like that's when all the things started changing for me and with me. And it didn't feel good all the time, trust me. I had a lot of times where it didn't feel good, and I sat in like a lot of emotions, negative emotions actually. But I think throughout all of it, when I sat with it and I, you know, really try to deal with it in the most healthy way I could and most honest way I could, I think that's actually where all this growth happened. And don't feel I've never felt more light and free, but also more importantly, I've never felt the most authentically me. And so also another reason why I wanted to do this video today is because I also wanted to share that not everything is as it seems. I know that everybody is so glorified on social media. Things are so great. Every once in a while something has happened and we do a quick snapshot to say that moment, but really, like, people struggle on a regular basis. People have things that go on. We just don't see it. And I know that even for myself, I'm sure you guys see me, you know, you may have judgments about me, and I'm sure a lot of people do. I've gotten that actually all my life. But for those who really, really, really know me, and most of my friends are all from, you know, childhood. So for people who really know me, they know my truth, they know my struggles. It brings that back to me because, you know, this weekend I'm having a birthday party for Bruce, and, you know, I'm having, you know, he doesn't have his own set of friends yet, so it's really just my friends. And, you know, I was telling my mom who was coming, these are just like my closest friends who just mean so much to me. I am so, 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 so grateful that in this lifetime I've just met this huge group of people, not huge, this group of people who are just solid, great human beings. And they have been a part of my life for a really long time. And honestly, there's just nothing I can do to really say or do to repay the amount of gratitude I have for them. Yeah, that's really just been something that I've just been so blessed with this lifetime, and I'm so grateful for that. Nevertheless, you know, my family, yeah, I have immeasurable words to say to that. And something I wanted to add to this video again is that, you know, not everything is as it seems. I'm doing this video today to share these like lessons I've learned in life, but honestly what caused that was because I actually I haven't been feeling so well. I had been diagnosed with GBS in April of 2018. And in that time, to be fully honest with myself, which I haven't been, because, you know, I'm the type of person who wants to just kind of like go, 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 and let's just move forward. Even while I was in the hospital, I wrote a checklist to say, these are the things I need to get done today, and I want to do this so I can heal faster. And at that point, I could like barely walk. So that's the type of personality I have. And the time I got out of the hospital, I was like, I'm not doing any drugs. I am going to just walk up those stairs myself, as I pulled myself slowly up the 3 flights of stairs I have in my house. So it's just to say that I do recognize now that my personality is a little bit just aggressive. So yes, and I am very hard on myself, so I want to make sure that I'm always able to just get it all done, get it all done. So I've been trying to be very cognizant of that, but of course, given that it's part of who I am, it takes a lot of work because I can easily fall back into that. I wanted to share this because I had recently been feeling, recently meaning like, I guess, I've been feeling like, you know, here and there some signs of maybe some like numbness, and I don't even know how to explain it. It's not like true numbness where I don't feel anything, but it is some version of a numbness, and it comes and goes, and it's not something that is consistently there, but it does come and go. So I'm just aware of it. I process it, I let it go. I just kind of, you know, kind of make note of it, make a mental note of it. Yesterday I wasn't feeling so well because my tongue was a little bit numb, and usually that brings me back to how I felt when I was in the hospital and at my worst. The way GBS works is that, you know, in a period of time, your body is basically attacking your nerves, and it's doing it very quickly. So it's a very escalated and aggressive way to, like, your body is like doing the attack, right? And so it has to get to its worst whatever that worst level is until you can start to heal. That time was really hard for me, but I didn't digest it that way because I think I let a lot of it go, and I do trust that whatever happens, happens, because I actually have no control over that. Just like a lot of other people who had similar situations happen, they had no control over it or what the end result is. And I'm very aware of that. So I just let that go, and I control what I can, which is just who I am and what I do. And this is why today I wanted to make this video, because a year ago when I was in the hospital, I couldn't do that. I actually was scared that I probably couldn't. My next step of not being able to eat was not being able to actually breathe on my own. So I would have had to have a breathing tube in, and then who knows about actually not being able to just move my legs. I was walking, but I was just moving my legs. I actually didn't have any feeling in it. So this time around, I did feel the numbness in my tongue, and so I was also triggered to be like, sorry. I had a little bit of numbness in my tongue, and that definitely triggered me to feel back to that place of where I thought, you know, I had that same feeling, that same sensation, given that there were more things going on with my body, but I had that same sensation to feel that, you know, the next step was that I couldn't breathe. And so yesterday I woke up like that, and I continued to just monitor it throughout the day, because I also felt like breathing, it wasn't hard, or I was not having shortness of breath, but it was just slightly different. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it wasn't hard to breathe and I was breathing normal, but maybe just a little bit of like a chest, like a little bit of heaviness. And last night I had a little bit of a whole body kind of, not numbing sensation, but I think, you know, it kind of feels like numb/high, if you kind of can figure out what that means and feels like, but it doesn't feel like it's painful. It just feels like I can't really feel it unless I'm touching, like, let's say my hand or something, and then I'll know that it feels a little less of a sensation than normal. And so that's kind of what I was feeling, but I also was feeling slightly dizzy, like I might pass out. So I did, you know, learning my lesson from the last time around, I made sure to, you know, everything was already prepared, I think, just given my circumstances from the last time. And I, you know, just let people know, so that, let certain people know, so that way they know exactly what to expect in case something goes wrong really, really fast. So that way I just gave them a heads up. And throughout the night, I think I just kept thinking about, you know, life and, you know, where I was at. And I can comfortably say that, you know, I had done everything up till now, feeling really good about myself, you know, where I'm at, all the work I put in to heal myself, my emotions, my being, and being just exactly who I really feel I am deep down inside. In that, I think there's definitely lots more that I want to do. So it's not to say that I'm like done with life, but I just wanted to share that, you know, when you look at someone, just think twice before judging them, because honestly, like, a lot of people, this is exactly how I was and how I came across. I think like nothing is wrong throughout like the past like 5+ years of my life. And the last 5+ years of my life were probably like the hardest times of my entire life. And I remember going to get a massage from masseuses. They would say like, oh, like, I'm so tense, please, like, you know, like really just get into my knots. And then they're just like, oh, really? Like, what are you stressed about? They thought like I just had like the life because I'm so happy, right? And I am happy. I do keep a very positive outlook, but doesn't mean that I also have a lot of things that I go through myself as well. I just, you know, approach it in a different way, right? Like, I don't choose to let it take me over, and I do have moments where that happens, but I don't let it take me over. Like, life is too short for that. I'm not gonna sit in the situation. I just want to move past it, and I know it'll eventually pass, but you know, it's just getting through that. I also was this exact way where you think I'm like, I don't know if you can see this or you feel this, but I know that people would say that, you know, I just seemed very put together, like nothing was wrong. I was talking like normal, acting like normal, smiling like normal, and everything was fine. And I went to work every single day, and in June of 2017 is when my dad, went to the hospital. And during that time, I was so worried when I first found out that he got diagnosed with cancer. And every day I literally sat at my desk like streaming tears, and I didn't know that nobody saw me. I was just like, oh my God, I probably look a mess, and I was, clearing it all off. But, I literally was like this in front of people, but at the moment I sat down at my desk, I couldn't help the tears from falling. I would actually go into like the conference rooms or outside to the patio to go work because I just couldn't like be there because I was scared that someone would see me like cry, And so, yes, I do try to hold it together, but we all do, right? For the past 5 years, I literally, like, everything was for other people. I didn't take care of myself. I, wore myself out to death, like literally, because I went to the hospital, but I wore myself out in so many ways. I can't even, looking back now, I can't even imagine like how I got through all of that and how I had the idea to think to do all that I did. Like, I don't know. And people might just be like, oh, like, you're in a dress, you have like this, like, jacket, like you're put together. Honestly, what I was thinking right now when I put on my outfit was because this dress, which was also the same dress that I went into the hospital with for GBS to the ER, is because it's easy. Like, it's like an easy, super like, simple dress, and it's comfortable and it's easy to take on and off in case something happened to me and I needed to go to the hospital. So that's actually what that is. And honestly, people will look and see like, oh, like, you're happy, you're fine, whatever it is, right? Like, you seem so happy-go-lucky, like nothing is wrong, or you've gotten through it, you're so strong. And honestly, I'm not. Like, if you look here, like, I actually have like this pink blanket, which is my childhood blanket. My dad brought this back from Taiwan 1 year when I was little. It's funny because this is actually Bruce's favorite blanket, so he always wants to like actually take it and wear it, so he has that. And honestly, behind me too, I have Moo, which is actually Bruce's favorite cow toy that I got him, and he loves this thing so much. So yes, this pink blanket and Moo got me through my nights and days in the hospital because I felt I had a little bit of family and a little bit of my son with me, and it just gave me comfort, and I still have that here because I do need comfort. Even though I'm making this video and sharing this, but I also just wanted to share not just the things that I've learned. I also wanted to just share the flip side of what judging people might look like, right? A lot of things look great on the outside, but there's a lot of other things that go on. And I think it's just for all of us to connect to that and just be kind to people no matter what, because again, we don't know what they're going through. For the most part, I don't think anybody would have been able to see it if I never shared that. And again, same thing with this video, right? Like, a lot of things you guys probably wouldn't have known. Even my friends, my closest friends, probably wouldn't have known if I never did this video to share it. And so I just wanted to share this because I think we all go through some level of this, and it's just nice to know that you're not alone. Because I know for me on my journey in the past couple of years, I felt very alone, and that was a huge part of, what was very emotional for me, to have to go do all of it alone. Even though I have a lot of great friends and people around me to support me, I still felt very alone. So anyways, thank you so much if you have made it all the way to the end of this video. I appreciate that a lot because I really do feel like making these videos, I kind of feel silly about it, and I also do feel like deep down inside of me there's a reason that I love doing these videos and want to do these videos. So I hope that you do enjoy or get something from this, and if at the very least get an update on me and my life and where I'm at. And don't be alarmed, I do feel like I'm feeling okay, and actually doing this video makes me feel really happy. So thank you guys so much for listening and watching and just being here and just sharing this moment with me. And that is it. I hope to talk to you guys again soon.